Hello. Hi, Cassandra. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Sarah?
I'm good. I have a little bit of a different setup, but you can't really tell on the screen, so that's helpful.
It looks
But I'm
great.
using a different kind of tripod today because my tripod broke because it's Great Bead Extravaganza Fall Fest week, and I have a big video coming up. So, of course,
Is there
this is
like a full moon or something? I think Mercury has been in retrograde for like 6 years now.
I know, at least 6 years. Yeah, so I do have a different setup and I won't be able to see my hands as easily when I'm beading, but I think it'll be fine because you're really doing the main project today. So
Well, and
this
the beads look
this will
great.
work
So
out
that's what
well.
counts, right?
Yeah. So, welcome everybody. It's so good to see all of you. We have a ton going on today. I have so much to tell you. Starting at the top, I wanted to remind you we have a live beat sale going on. It's pinned at the top of the Softflex Company Facebook page. So make sure you check it out. There are two parts. Look for both parts, and it ends on Thursday at midnight. So go check that out. If you missed it because you watched this over the weekend, don't worry. We'll have another live sale coming up in just 3 weeks. And that one's special because it has Mike's jewelry for sale for holiday presents or just for your own holiday pleasure, if you prefer. So we'll have a full sale that is just finished jewelry and pendants and gift giving items. And that'll be in 3 weeks. Okay, so Cassandra has something really fantastic to show us today. She started a seed bead subscription box, and it goes out once a month. You sign up, and then you automatically get this box of curated colors that she has put together. And I can already see from what I've gotten in the last two, they're going to be sort of seasonal colors that are going to make sense in the moment, that all make sense together if you want to mix them together, but look beautiful all on their own as well. We're going to look at the latest subscription box. I have that right here. And then she has a beautiful necklace. You can see it up there in the top right-hand corner. She has a beautiful necklace she's going to show us how to make with the subscription box. And then I started playing around with mine, and I have a little bracelet idea that I'm putting together that I'm going to show you as well. So we've got lots of fun projects to share with you today. If you don't know Cassandra, she is a bead store owner in Michigan. She also has a huge social media network that you can join. So look for her on Facebook and Instagram. Are you doing a YouTube, Cassandra?
We are, and they would all be under the bead store name, Beads to Live By.
Yeah, so look for beads to live by in order to follow Cassandra in all of those lovely places. And then how do they sign up for your subscription box?
So we have a listing on the website, and there's two options right now. There's also a button option. So if you register for both at the same time, it will combine the shipping. And then if I've already had people sign up for one and then the other later on, I am going back through and just trying to manually adjust that. But if they go to the website, there's a tab along the top of the website that says curated collections. And if they click on that, there's quite a few things there now because we've been doing this for a few months. So we have like the previous seed bead listings, some of the buttons that are available still as sets, and then some of these bundles that we're adding to the color scheme options for each month. But you're looking for, like, the picture would say example across the front, and it would say like subscription specifically for either the seed beads or the buttons.
Okay, do they sign up for just 1 month? Do they sign up on an ongoing basis? How does the subscription work?
So once they click on their chosen subscription, for instance, if they're clicking on the seed beads, there will be a drop-down menu that gives them, and thanks for that order, guys. I can't help but notice those little
Woohoo! We
clicks
should have
across
like
the
a
screen there.
little woohoo
Little
moment every
ticker,
time
yeah.
we see.
But yeah, so there's a drop-down menu that gives people the option. So you can pay monthly and it'll charge you. So for instance, if you sign up today, you will get your first shipment in September on the 17th or 18th will be the first.
November.
I'm sorry, November. Good gracious. I have no idea what month it is. Your face is like, wait a second.
Yeah.
No.
Switch it the other way.
Because we're in the month of October and we've already shipped October, it'll be the next month. So November, thank you for catching that. Would be the first delivery they get, like towards the end of the month, because they'll ship around the 18th or after. So it just depends on how far somebody is away from Michigan, etc. But you can choose the monthly option, which means you would pay today, you would get your first delivery in November, and then you would be billed monthly on the 17th. So like you would get billed on Terry, time travel. You would get billed on November 17th, and then that would be your December shipment. But there's also
a time travel subscription, because that would be really
if we can only go back. I will be working. So what's funny is I'm working with September's colors tonight for my second sample, and I'm sure that's part of why that was on my mind. That's my excuse anyway. So the little drop down menu gives people also an option to prepay for 3 or 6 months. And so if they do that, they'll get billed all at once for 3 months or 6 months, but they'll get a discount off of the total of their box price. So that kind of sweetens the deal to give me a heads up and know that I have a certain amount of orders I need to fulfill each month, which I'm happy to say that after our first 3 months of orders, I already had to double my seed bead order for the next 3 months worth of subscriptions. So thanks, guys.
That's so awesome. I'm so glad. I said from the very beginning when we started having these live beading parties together that you're very good with color. You put together colors that I wouldn't normally think to put together that are really beautiful. And I think that people are going to get a lot out of this, not just to have the seed beads come in, but to see the color mixes that you're putting together and then be able to take other beads and sort of add them in different shapes and sizes. And that's kind of something we'll be showing today, is how you can intermix the seed beads with some other items as well. So there's 2 subscription options. I don't know if you guys caught that. There's the seed bead one, which is what we're going to use today. There's also a check glass button subscription. And so that's a really fun one. If you love to use your buttons as your clasps or your closures, or you like to just throw a button, if you're a seamstress and you like to throw a button onto a purse or a bag or a coat, you know, it's a really fun way to get some really unusual button choices. And again, Cassandra has such a good eye. She's going to put together a really lovely mix for you. So,
and Sarah gives us all sorts of great ideas of how to use our buttons. I feel like you're my button guru when it comes to ideas. So
I do love buttons. I think they're so fun. And especially the ones from the Czech Republic, the Czech Republic, who makes glass beads. They're so unusual and they're so pretty, and they come in so many different colors and patterns and sizes and shapes. They just make for really unique jewelry.
My favorite description for them is kitschy. I feel like there are so many options of those that are like little replications of like a purse or a face, or you know, like they're just cutesy in the most like adorable way. So
they are. Okay, I'm going to show off my seed beads and some other new things that we added to our shop today, and then we'll switch over and get started on your necklace. Does that sound good?
That's excellent.
Okay, so first let's look at this seed bead collection. So in this month's subscription, we have got a lot of really fun fall tones. So I loved this sort of topaz-y color. There were 2 of the mossy color, like an evergreen mossy color. This one has a little bit more of a lining on the inside, I think, which changes it up. And these are a little more glossy. I loved this color. It's like a beautiful teal. It's so pretty. I was very tempted to use it in my bracelet today, but I decided to go straight fall.
Yeah, the teal was like definitely probably my favorite color out of the group if I'm just going off of my own personal palette that I normally choose.
Yeah. And then these are really fun, like kind of a light brown. Very pretty. And then this pumpkin color just took my heart away.
Yes.
I went straight for those. And then there's another sort of a, it's like a red jasper color. And then finally, there's a beautiful pale pink in with all of that. So in your subscription box, you're going to get this entire color palette. How much does one of these subscription boxes cost you, Cassandra?
So when people are subscribing ahead of the shipments, that package would be $18.99 or less, depending on the, if they prepaid for 3 or 6 months or do the monthly. And then when they do a reorder, if they're purchasing the bags individually, it's $2.99 a bag.
Can we just talk about how the beads that we put online today? Oh, where'd I go? I don't know how that happened. Okay, the beads that I put online today, like match.
Did you do that on purpose?
No, I didn't even get these until yesterday. I opened them this morning. So I was like, oh, look at that, except for the purples here at the end.
And that's still, I think the purple could go in with some of those colors. Like if you remove the teal, right?
Yeah.
That's really
the purple
amazing.
And the green and the teal would be really pretty. And the orange and purple can be really pretty too.
Yeah.
So we got these beads recently. They are check glass beads. They are simple cut and just absolutely stunning. We've got them in 6 colors. You can find them on the website as of today. You can buy them in singles, but if you buy the bundle, you get 30% off. So the bundle will have all 6 colors, including this beautiful green that I'm going to use in my bracelet today, which I just can't get enough of. It's like an evergreen, like a Christmas tree color. It's so pretty.
Did you say what approximate size those are, Sarah?
I didn't.
Oh.
I don't know, but I bet Thomas can post it into the chat because he puts them up online, so he knows all those details.
They look like nice and substantial. That's why I was wondering.
Yeah, no, they're pretty big size. They're not tiny for sure.
12 by 11.
12 by 11 millimeter.
Very nice. I can't get over that we didn't coordinate this. Does that freak anyone else out?
Isn't that funny? Like even the pale pink, I was like, what the heck? She's like reading my mind.
Yeah, it's a little creepy.
Get out of my head.
I mean, even that one on the far left looks a lot like the color, like that kind of neutral color in the mix. Or in the
yeah, there's actually a tinge of purple and like silver in it. These are really pretty. This might be my favorite color. They're like a light purple, and then they have a little bit of like a metallic coating on them, like a half coat or something. I don't know.
Yeah, when you start moving them around, you can see that like half coat sort of thing. It's gorgeous.
So flashy and pretty. And then the regular purple is just really lovely too. I don't always find a lot of good purples in check glass for some reason.
That's like a true medium amethyst or something. Yeah.
These are really great. So
I do like the shape too, that I'm a huge Fire Polish fan, but that shape is so like fun and like it's got a bit of a rustic feel to it, so they're not just like your normal drucker.
Right. Yeah. I'm pretty excited about those. So lovely that they can mix together. And then the other thing we added today is we have a few of these ceramic donuts. Nice. And they're really pretty too. I think I'm going to use this one this weekend at Fall Fest. If you're not sure what I'm talking about when I refer to Fall Fest, it's the Great Bead Extravaganza. We have them 4 times a year. And the next one, which we've called Fall Fest, is coming up this weekend. You can go to preview night on Friday night at 5 p.m. Pacific. on the Great Bead Extravaganza Facebook page to see what I'm talking about. But Kristen and I will be on Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, and she's using our kit, our Fall Fest kit, which many of you have already purchased. There's only 3 left, I think, if anybody wants to grab one now. We have them in the shop, but I get to use some things from the kit, and then I get to use some new things too. So I was thinking about this donut as maybe my centerpiece. This one's really pretty too. It's got a little bit of dark blue, and then it's kind of a grayish color as well. It's a mixture of colors, but the dark blue is very intriguing for fall. And then there's this one, which is glossy, and it's a little bit of like a mustard color. Also very pretty. So we have those in the shop if you want to grab them, and then join me for Fall Fest and we'll make something. I'm thinking about that donut. I pulled out those blue bamboo beads that I was showing you guys yesterday that we just got a picture of. So I was thinking about that. And then I was thinking about these beautiful Rolla beads, maybe
yes.
with it. Maybe some of that new tiara cast, like the fern leaves, or I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to figure out what I'm making. But we're in today's show, so I'm going to focus more on that now.
It's so hard. You have so many tempty things right now.
I know, and so many projects and events and things going on. So here is the full set. Let me switch over to Cassandra, and she's going to show you how to make a beautiful necklace with this set. I'm going to continue working on my bracelet, and then we'll go over how I made it in a show and tell at the end. Okay, does that sound good?
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
And I have to confess, Sarah, I think it was either you or Nile who pointed out after the previous subscription set of seed beads that my manicure had coordinated with that that set of beads. So I had to continue the trend.
Oh, I love that. That's great. I don't think that was me, but Kristen does that stuff all the time.
Oh, you know what? It might have been, you might not have been there for the video. I think I did do one
I bet it was Kristen.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my gosh. And what was weird was that it was like 5 different colors. I did like an ombre across my nails. So
that's hilarious.
Each nail like coordinated with the subscription.
Oh my God. That's so funny. Yeah. She loves to coordinate with her project.
So the specific design that we're going to be working on today involves the little seed bead loops. I was really inspired by like, I was looking at some catalog and saw like sticks of little gemstone beads that someone had dropped off of chain, and that was what triggered my idea for this necklace. And of course, this is another Sarah-inspired obsession, the pieces from Vintage, the Colorful Souls, I think is the name of their line. And so we've been teaching classes and carrying these products. But this particular pendant, I mixed our whole color set from the October subscription here to stitch through it. And I've used some stains and paints on here. And then I actually did make this like a removable pendant because my other good friend, Heather Powers, had these gorgeous pendants from her polymer clay pieces. And I just thought that looked too good with all of these colors too. So I couldn't just commit to one pendant on that necklace.
I love interchangeable stuff. And as soon as I saw that Vintage was coming out with those pieces, I was like, Cassandra needs these.
Oh, you're like the best kind of enabler, right?
I can't help myself.
We appreciate it. All of us in the bead community, I'm sure. So because I already did this beautiful example with our October colors, I thought I would do a little throwback. And because these are both things that have already shipped to our subscribers, you can order the seed bead colors via the individual ordering option on our website. So these are mostly from our September colors. Yes, that was Kristen, wasn't it? And I thought I would grab a new kind of chain. So all this beaded chain is also available on our website. And we have some new filigree components that we've added. And this one's been calling my name for a while. So I thought I could demo a couple of these loops with you guys on this sample, and then maybe talk about like what to do with this funky pendant. I honestly haven't thought through the design, so it'll be kind of like a design on the fly thing, and maybe Sarah can show us some of her bracelet she's working on in between, if that sounds okay, Sarah.
Yeah, sounds great.
So I am working with, I'll grab my little spool here. I've got the 24 gauge in the silver plated pewter. If you guys are watching, I'm assuming you are familiar with the fabulous quality of this craft wire. It's nice and soft, so even when you're using the thicker wire, it is, you know, really malleable and friendly for those of us that are not super wire forward with our designs. And what I love about some of these skinnier gauges is that when you are used to working with thread, it acts a little bit more like a thread than what, you know, you would be expecting from a wire. And that is just my cup of tea, because I am not a wire person first and foremost. And it's really nice to, you know, have a material that works with my design comfort level.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really love our craft wire too. It's very user friendly and easy to use, and comes in so many different gauges and colors. There's lots of fun options.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing that's really helpful is that, you know, like the sky's the limit when it comes to what you, you know, can choose to work with. And this pewtery color is one of my favorites for, you know, the wire, or the, excuse me, the chain that I'm working with is with like almost a black tone metal wire. But I think that, you know, when you're combining something like a filigree that has different tones of finishes to the metal, and then, you know, you can throw in something a little lighter even with your wire to combine those looks. But I am just threading on, and I will show you guys how I go about this. I use my wire like a needle, and this piece is probably about 8 to 12 inches long, but you can work with up to like 2 feet at a time. And then I've trimmed down as I've made my little sample pieces. But I hold one end with the very end of the wire straightened and slide my beads on just like I would my beading needle. You get a couple at a time that way, so it's not like you're picking up individual size 11 seed beads and trying to place them on your wire. And then I've got, let's see, 6, 12, 15, 16. Okay. I want about 14 of these seed beads on here, give or take. And I think I just miscounted. Undid some of my hard work there. But you don't have to use an exact number, and some of the seed beads, because they're not all the same brand, will take up a little bit more or less room. So if you're super particular, you'll want to pay attention to that. But this is meant to be a more organic design, so I wouldn't worry as much about that idea. And then the important part, no matter how long your wire is you want to leave like 3 inches or so on one end, and then whatever is over on the other side is not a big deal as far as like a requirement. But you're going to bring those 2 pieces of wire together and start to form your loop, and make sure you're using something thinner like a 24 gauge, because otherwise you won't get that like nice easy drop shape, and you'll struggle with you know, like, I don't know how to explain it other than the thinner the wire is, the more natural the drop will be. Maybe that's a good way to put it. If you're working with a thicker wire, you have to kind of work to form that drop shape. And I just twisted those two pieces up, and I've got that, this is probably 3 to 4 inches, that straight piece that I talked about. So leaving that straight piece, I'm gonna grab my flush cutters and bring that in and trim right down to, if you look close, it's, I don't know if it'll focus in good for us, but you've only got like maybe 2 revolutions there, so it's not a huge deal. And if anybody is like an experienced wire worker and wondering why I didn't do my loop first, my answer to that is I like being able to create, my wire loop to attach the piece. The beaded loop is formed no matter what, but I like to create the wire loop for the attachment last, because this way I can grab my necklace or the chain and I can take that little loop and hold it up and see where it's going to hit on my necklace. So then I know what part of that chain I want to go through. And then you just bring the loop of your wire all the way through the loop of your chain. And once we get that to stay in place, and my little twist of wire, I might not have left the revolutions quite as tight as I should have, but the one end is like sticking out a little bit. So we'll wrap this around. So this is your leftover piece here. And if you have any wire remnants still after wrapping this part, you can always trim those, but I think we probably covered them up pretty good. And then I'm just gonna get in there and trim the remaining piece. And I have a small animal. I don't know if you guys pay attention to this stuff, you know, kids and such. I usually cover with my one hand while I'm trimming that wire just to catch it before it flies off my bead table.
It's also just good for keeping it out of your eye, because you never know. You have glasses on, but some folks out there don't, and you never know when that little piece of wire is going to shoot up at you.
That is a great point, Sarah. Thank you for, which if you're watching a video while you do this, a great thing to wear would be those, is it blue blockers? Those glasses that are not prescription, but I'm taking my pliers. So these are my flat nose pliers and just closing off, you know, this chain is like mass produced. So this is a fairly thin wire that you're working with, and you'll want to like make sure, especially on these links that you're attaching your loops to, that you like tighten them and close it off if you see any little openings. So I want to do that and then go in and smush down. I've got a tiny little bit of my wire that's popping out here, but that takes care of it.
We have a quick question from Melanie. She's asking if you think you could put a Rivoli in the middle of it.
Oh, Melanie, you are a person after my own heart. I totally had, I wish I'd taken a picture of it. I saw a few different sizes of Rivolis in this flower, and I think that whether you wire wrapped over it or stitched with seed beads over it, that would be a really cool. I'm trying to remember what size. I want to say a 14 millimeter might have been the right size for this. I know I had a bigger size, like an 18 millimeter, that was a little too large, and the smaller size that I carry normally is like an 8 millimeter chaton, and that seemed to get lost in the center, because this is, I'll hold it in my hand so you guys have like a frame of reference.
Oh, that's better. Yeah,
pretty substantial.
Do you have that for sale on your website, the flower?
Yeah, this is one of those filigree pieces that we've added. So it's, if you search under double flower, there are I believe there are 3 different finishes. There's a silver and then, or this is like the antique silver, and then there's maybe like an antique copper and an antique bronze.
Ooh, do you think you could paint that with the ultimate paint?
Oh, 100%. Yes.
Ooh,
So you could also
imagine
change
the
the colors.
possibilities, you guys.
Yeah, so many good ideas.
Oh, and that's really fun. Like the ultimate paint also, and you're showing it sort of in the other pendant, is so
Yeah.
nice with these seed bead mixes, because then you can personalize the component to match the seed bead palette that you're using.
Yeah, I don't have any of the ultimate paints in the solid colors. I only ordered stains in those. So I do have the metallics, which I like to be able to change the tone of, like, on some of these filigree pieces, they're very brassy gold, like a brighter gold color.
Mhm.
And it's nice to use like the antique or aged bronze over that to give it kind of a, more demure finish.
Yeah, we have the ultimate paints in solid colors and none of the stains. So if
Oh,
you want
perfect.
solid colors, we have a rainbow bundle, I believe, where you can even get a little savings and you
Ooh.
get the full rainbow, and then you can intermix those colors to make other colors,
Well, I
which is
think people have to do that then for something like this and coordinate their flower with their
so
chosen seed bead.
fun.
And then I was just going to show, I used like a rose gold metallic over what was a very brassy
Ooh,
colored leaf.
that's
And this is another piece
pretty.
out of our collection, and that uses some of the seed beads and stuff. And I've got a wire component here as far as like a 24 or 26 gauge out of your guys' craft wire too. But just another like example of kind of what you can do with those filigree pieces as far as the paints and things.
Yeah, and I think it's important to recognize that none of the stuff we're looking at right now is bead weaving. So, even though they're seed beads and that's what we think of, and what you can definitely use these for, if you are a bead weaver and love bead weaving, you can. But if you're not a bead weaver yet, but you're curious about seed beads and just sort of want to see some ideas for things that you can do with them that isn't bead weaving, there are multiple ideas just on Cassandra's table, and then the idea that I'm going to share with you as well. So don't feel like you have to be a very advanced bead weaver to do one of these subscription boxes.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Sarah. And honestly, not even because like we're sharing all the love on the Beads to Live by Softflex bead party, just because this is the honest truth. I think I really have you guys to credit for pushing me out of that like traditional seed bead weaving box and finding other ways to utilize these seed beads in the size 11. So that's something that I've kind of, really grown into in the last few months. And it's awesome to be able to like not be constrained by, I can only use a needle and thread with these beads and I have to use traditional stitches with them. Like you can do anything with your beads. And
Mhm.
I also think it's really nice because as much as like we were just talking about our love for check seed bead or check glass beads and the colors and finishes, I think
Mhm.
important to bring up the fact that they're manufactured in 2 different regions of the world by very different types of people mostly. And the seed beads come in totally different colors and finishes than some of the check glass. So it kind of gives you this whole new range of options if you choose to like play around with both of those types of beads.
And the beads you have there are your September palette, right?
They are, with the exception of I'm only missing, I voted one color off the island for this project because I didn't really feel like it fit my what I was doing with my chain. But yeah, this
Yeah.
one is the 8th color out of the other 7 that you see here.
Awesome. That's a beautiful palette too. Can they still buy the box after it's shipped?
So right now, the way we have the seed beads listed after the boxes have shipped is people would buy the seed beads individually, but they are listed as a set, so you can get them all at the same time without having to hunt and search through my website for them. So under that curated collections tab, people would just select the month they're looking at. Like the September reorder is what I'm using to denote, like, you know, the past subscriptions. And then once they click on that listing, there's a drop down menu with all 8 colors individually listed.
Awesome. I'm going to run and grab something that I used your seed beads for that I
Oh,
forgot I
awesome.
wanted to show. So I'll be right back. You continue doing the project.
Okay, guys, it's all Cassandra.
It's all you.
What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do while Sarah's gone?
No cursing and spitting. I'll be right back.
Okay, we'll behave. So I've twisted up my little, I've got a new color in the drop. And oh gosh, you can tell how dry and cold it is in Michigan. My fingers are super dry. But once you've twisted up that longer piece of wire, we've got that shorter piece that I just bent over. And sometimes my twist gets so big that I even bend that over a little bit. And then my pliers are super skinny, so I'm almost halfway up. The other thing that's helpful to note is the loop size is fairly generous because I think it's important for your project to drape appropriately. So like I might have even put this one too close to that bigger bead, but when you hang your loops correctly, then when you've got that bigger size in the wire loop portion, then you don't have to worry about them sticking out quite so obscurely. But I'm just going to continue to find an appropriate spot to hang my next loop and go through that portion of the chain and then pull this guy through. And I do still have a little nub of wire sticking out. I might have to trim that guy down, but.
I'm back. Did you behave yourself?
Oh, guys, shh. She's back.
Scott and Mike are going to be like, you left her alone on the Soflex cream. I'm thinking.
Yeah, they've seen all the trouble we get into when we're in a group with like Eli and Jill and everyone else. And the great thing about this design is you guys can like look at this and say, okay, I like the way that these colors are all interacting and I like what I've done so far, but maybe I want to add, I kind of feel like because the focal is so simple that I might add some more drops closer to the flower and create more of a cluster down at the base of the chain and then let it spread out the further I get up the chain. Just one thought.
So pretty. I love it. I love the extra texture and like just sort of jingly quality it's going to add.
Yeah, it would look, different but equally beautiful on a plain chain. And obviously the beauty of this beaded chain is that, you don't have to do a lot to it in order to utilize it. But I thought it just added something extra and fun to have that pre-beaded chain underneath of those seed beads. And there's so many neutral options in this beaded chain that it's the perfect like canvas for those seed beads.
Yeah. Let me grab or actually I can use this. I was going to say I have an idea. You could even string it.
Of course you have an idea.
Of course. I think it would be fun if it was, if you went real big with it too.
Oh, like made a chunky loop?
Yeah, and then tapered down. Let me draw a picture of what I'm thinking. Not my best drawing ever, but will suffice for today.
It's called a sketch. The sketch.
Like a nice big one in front, and then you taper it down and use it, and you can string that little loop between beads.
So the drops would be like their own focals. You don't need to have a pendant then.
Yeah, just seed beads. You could even probably like put a charm or something in the center here if you wanted.
That big one would be awesome as like a mix of the colors you're using throughout the rest of it too.
Yeah, and then your soft flex wire just strings right through
Yes.
all of that. Really
And making
fun.
the loops independently of something else would be really nice because then you don't have to like, like making all of your wire wrapping completely independent of any other chain and then being able to trim it off and just string it onto something is even, easier than what we're doing right now too.
Oh, that's nice. I see Zakaya is here and she's excited. And then I see Melanie. She says she loves my sketches. Thank you, Melanie. I appreciate that. I'm glad you like them. A couple things that I grabbed when I left you all alone. I made these last time Cassandra was here with one of her subscription boxes. She had sort of a sea and surf and beach theme. And I took our Softflix craft wire and crafted these little earrings. I was just wearing these the other day, and fellow mom was like, "Those earrings are so cute." I was like, "I know, I made them."
They're
But I
fantastic.
didn't
I
tell
love
her that
those.
Cassandra picked all the colors, and I just got to do the making part because picking the color is sometimes the hardest part, honestly. I also made this last week. I don't know if you saw this, Cassandra, but I had a Juliana on from Jewel Loom.
I totally saw and shared your post. It's so fantastic.
I was doing some jewel looming and then I had to figure out how to end it. And I decided I would grab some of your beautiful seed beads that you
They
had
look
sent
so
me.
good with those bamboo beads.
I know, I know. It's so funny because I thought I was grabbing the same color. And on the second one, it's just slightly pinker.
I know exactly which two you're talking about,
I
and
was
they
like,
from
wait
two
a minute,
different.
are these different?
Surprise!
Surprise, they're pink. Yeah, I didn't notice till I was already far enough along that I was like, yeah, they'll just be pink. That's fine. It's okay. They look good anyway.
They do
But
look good.
so that's another way that you can add a touch with a seed bead that'll help you sort of finish something off with your bigger beads, but isn't actually bead weaving. It's just some easy stringing here. So that's nice. You can find this project in an Instagram reel on the Softflix Company Instagram page if you want to see a step-by-step on that. So is it okay if I show my bracelet now?
It is, and I really also wanted to mention that I am just enamored with the way you used the Softflex wire, the beading wire, and the I've never done loom weaving where the wire was so, or the thread wire, whatever you're using to put the beads through the middle, is like such a component of the design. It really looks fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, I used the 019 on the sides, and then I wove in with the Soft Touch 010.
Oh, so that's like the tiny one, right?
Yeah, so it's really, really thin. It's only 7 strands of stainless steel, but it's very strong and flexible, stronger than a thread, and perfect for a project like this where you want a little bit of strength because it's a bracelet. It's going to get a lot of wear and tear, but it will hold to the test of time because it's steel inside there.
And look at the turquoise on the side of that green one. That's fantastic too.
Yeah, and we have that soft touch in white, black, and satin silver. So you can kind of pick, what color is going to blend in the best.
I think we've got the satin silver in that size. I haven't done a lot with it, but
Ooh, maybe I need to send you some spools to play with.
Some extra.
Yeah, I think I might need to do that. So I took some of our soft flex medium in the bone color. I took 3 strands of it and I attached it at the end with a mighty crimp, which I'm going to do on the other end as well. So that's a 3 by 3 millimeter crimp tube attached to this beautiful tiara cast toggle. And I strung some of our new green check glass beads. I chose these little silver spacer nuggets from Tierra Cast. We were talking about it right before the show started. Cassandra and I are both in love with these little nuggets.
The nuggets.
Every project, it doesn't matter what time of year, and they just add like a little bit of silver or gold or copper. They're really handy to have around. So I used those, and they're a big hole nugget too. So putting 3 strands of soft flex through them is like no big deal. They have a pretty nice, decent sized hole.
It's so helpful. There's so many times where you need some extra space, and PureCast is so good about making those like essential little pieces. And I don't know what it is about this one. The shape of it kind of emulates those glass beads you're using, where it's not perfect or like exactly symmetrical, and so it's got that nice kind of organic shape to it, and that little flower on it. I love everything about it.
I do too. They feel old world in some ways.
Yeah.
Like a Bali bead, but with a big hole, and like just so nice. So these are constructed here in the US. They're made actually right here in California where I am. And they are Tierra Cast pieces. They're really, really beautiful. And they come in 3 different metal tones. Then I played around with 3 colors of the seed beads. So I just did 10 on each strand. You could definitely change that. You could go for less or more, depending on how much of that color you want in there. I could probably have fit a 4th strand if I wanted to. You could do 4. I tend to work in odd numbers. I don't know why. I just do.
Because it's natural, like it happens in nature. And so therefore, I think it fits a little bit more artistically usually.
Yeah, it's just like a habit too that I've come upon. So I chose the really beautiful pumpkin-y color, this sort of gold yellow, and then that mossy green. And then I just repeated that pattern throughout the design. So these are just strung seed beads. But look at how fun that is when it all comes together. It's super cute. You could do this in a bunch of different colors. So imagine if you chose maybe like these gold tones check glass beads, and maybe you wanted to go, with something like that. That's going to feel really pretty and bright and very fallish as well.
And you can make like a whole set of these bracelets in different colors and then wear them all together because they all go.
I'm in love with this purple, and you know what would look pretty is just 3 strands of the teal between the purple.
Oh yeah,
really pretty together. Those colors are nice.
There's also some purpley lavenders in that September set that would be really pretty. You could even start to mix your different months depending on how many you collect.
For sure. Or you can go with the pinks as the main bead and maybe do some of these colors as the side beads.
Yeah.
So lots of options. I think there's a lot to work with here. That could be really fun. Also, what would be fun is maybe to make tassels to hang from a donut. I was thinking about that today as well as I was admiring this donut. Then I decided I needed to save it for Fall Fest this week.
Oh yeah, when you pulled out that donut, I was like, is there a project in your book that utilizes seed beads that uses a donut? I feel like I'm remembering something.
Maybe I just made a really nice donut necklace with Sam from Sam's Bead Shop.
Okay, maybe that's
red and turquoise that I really love. So I was going to kind of revisit that idea a little bit for Fall Fest, but put a Fall Fest spin on it. But I think there are some colors here that would just look so magical.
Oh, yeah.
With the donut. So think about that too. Like even this dark blue would just look really pretty with the oranges. So fun. So lots of options. Okay, so let's finish off this bracelet. I've got my 3 strands clipped with my bead stopper so I don't lose them. I'm going to take all 3 strands and I'm going to string my 3x3 millimeter crimp tube, which was here and
Oh
has now
no, it's rolled off. Those darn
ran
tubes.
away. So I'll get another one. Here we
Oh,
go.
there, you have backup.
I can't wait till my tripod comes because it's just a lot trickier with the setup than my normal setup, but we're making it work. Okay, you can either take all 3 strands, which is what I'm probably going to do, through your toggle bar link, or you can do just one. Your choice. I don't mind doing all 3. If you want to do one at a time to make sure they're all straight inside of there, you can do that too. I tend to just go for it.
Now, Sarah, I am going to ask you something that I have only done myself like dozens of times and regretted my life choices. So I just want to double check. Your toggle hole on the other end, is that enough to, are you going to have enough space to go through it?
I think so.
Okay. Just wanted to double check.
That's a really good question.
Because that chunky bead on the end?
Yeah, I'll leave my loop just a little bit longer.
Okay, perfect. You were, I was having anxiety for you. So.
Like, don't ruin it. Yeah, it's a good point. You want your toggle bar to be able to kind of go straight down. And so always leave enough space that
I did that with like stitching projects, and then I've like made a bunch of little knots with a bunch of little threads.
Make it all the way through and then come through like that. Okay, so we've got our little loop there and our 3 strands are running through. I always like to check my bracelet and make sure it's flexible enough. I haven't pulled it so tight that there's no flexibility left in it to feel comfortable. And once I feel good about that, I can come in and do my crimping. I'm using the Mighty Crimpers today, so no ravioli time, friends. But I'm sure I'll be back with raviolis this weekend if you want to check out the Fall Fest with me. So there are 2 holes here. There is this hole here that has a little tooth, and this hole here that's a rounder. This tool works just like the regular crimping pliers and the micro itty bitty crimping pliers. So once you've learned how to do the Mighty, which you can see really well, you can do any size of the crimps. This is for a 3x3. The regulars are for 2x2s, and then the micro is for 1x1s, which are just really itty bitty. That's what Danielle was using just a couple weeks ago when we were doing that herringbone.
Oh, her beading projects have been fun.
She has such good beading projects. I love her projects. Okay, so I'm going to come in with that little tooth and compress in to create a little divot in my crimp tube. Then I'm going to turn it to its side and go into the rounder, and I'm going to compress it again. So it folds the crimp tube in on itself and down into the nylon coating. And then I always just like to go around a couple times.
That's why your crimps always look so magically perfect.
All around. It tightens it down and just sort of gives it a nice round shape. Oh, I've got this weird cord right here. Okay, and then I usually try to cut these off one at a time. Sometimes I'm lazy. I might do them all at once, but you get in a cleaner cut if you just go one at a time. So I'm going to show you the right way to do it.
Do as I say, not as I do situation.
We all know there are times where we don't do what we know we should be doing. And then I'm going to add this little redwoods charm, I think, to it because I think it'll be just so cute on this design.
Oh, so, yeah.
This beautiful new piece from Tierra Cast. They just came out with these a couple weeks ago for fall. It says, "Not all those who wander are lost." You can find these on our website as well. Are you selling any of the new woodland pieces?
You know, I didn't order them this last time. I was stocking up on like piles of ear wires and a few other odds and ends from Tierra Cast, but I have a feeling I'm gonna have to place another order from them with them fairly quickly, because I was gonna show you guys these cute little earrings that I did that are very seasonally appropriate, and use some of your products as well as Tier Cap.
Ooh, cool. Did I make that big enough to go over that crimp? Maybe I need to open it up just a little more.
That's that mighty crimp. It's extra mighty.
I know, it's so big. I'm just slipping it right over the top of that crimp. And then I will close it back up.
Is that their 5mm jump rings, Sarah?
Those pliers are better for this situation, but do as I say, not as I do. And close that up really nicely. What was your question?
Oh, I was asking if that is the 5mm jump ring from TierCast.
Ooh, I don't know. I just found it in my odd and end bag, to be honest.
Their 5mm, I think it's like 18 or 19 gauge crimp or jump rings are like my absolute favorite. They're so sturdy because they're like nice and thick and perfect for holding things in place when you don't want, like I can use them with thread projects and close them off so that they're not going to slip over my thread.
Cool. And you know what? You could even add some of those cute little dangles to this if you wanted to, that Cassandra was making. You would just string them on here.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
Make like a cute little charm style bracelet.
I do really love that little charm on the end though. That adds a lot to it.
It's so perfect for fall. I like how the colors sort of revolve. So you're seeing different colors from every angle of the bracelet. They're really, really pretty. And the colors in this palette are just gorgeous, Cassandra. They're so perfect for this time of year.
Well, thank you. I am also amazed. The other thing that people should note about those fabulous beads that you used in your bracelet, the ones that you've got listed on the website now, the fact that you can fit 3 strands of the soft flux through them.
Oh, these ones.
Yeah, for that project is so like, not unusual, but it's definitely not the norm, right?
Yeah, no, because they're large enough that that's possible. Yeah, that's really helpful sometimes if you want to do multiple strands and have some other things happening in between. It's nice to have that centerpiece that you'll be able to string all the beads through.
Definitely.
Pretty, pretty. I just can't even imagine what the next palette is going to be like, but I can't wait to see it. And I hope everybody who has their seed bead palette on the way is excited and looking forward to opening that up. And I can't wait to see what all of you guys are making. If you get this seed bead palette and you're making things, please do post them into the Softflux VIP group so that we can see them. We would love to see them and take a look at what everyone ends up making with the fun colors that Cassandra has put together. Look at how dark it looks behind you.
I know.
It's nighttime there.
7 o'clock here, which is not late, but it's not early.
Oh my gosh.
You can't see my
pretty. 4 o'clock here, so I still have
our whole yard is like on fire with like all the leaf colors and stuff right now, so it's extra pretty. But I think that the glare from the sun being behind me doesn't really help you see that even when it's light out. So
well, here in Northern California, it's 90 degrees today. It does not feel like fall, but I am going to go for a swim tonight. So
you guys, you can deal with it, right?
It's okay today. Yeah. But hopefully it'll cool down again by the weekend. So it was feeling fallish finally last week. And then this week we're like, what?
Yeah, we're gonna get all the way back up to like I think the 60s this weekend as a high. So we're looking forward to a reprieve from like a couple of days. It's been a high of like 40 and rainy, so that's no fun.
Terry says it was 27 degrees here this morning. I'll gladly cut it in half. I'll send you half of my heat if you send me half of your cool, and we'll meet in the middle, and it'll be the perfect fall temperature.
That sounds fantastic. I would take somebody up on that too.
We're so glad that we were able to inspire you. Thank you for being here with us today, you guys. I hope you'll check out our website. We're doing 15% off in honor of TGBE Fall Fest all week long, no coupon necessary. So you can go on there and grab some of the things you saw from us today. Make sure you check out those subscription boxes from Beads to Live By, but also check out all the other things they're offering to go along with them in those beautiful color palettes. There's lots and lots of options, and that beautiful filigree flower just has my heart. So I hope you'll take a look at that as well. And Cassandra, we'll see you again in a few weeks, right? Beginning of December?
Yes,
Right?
please don't put it like that it's only a few weeks away.
It's going to come
That's
really
terrifying. Yes, I'm currently in the process of this week. I'm ordering all of the beads for the November, December, and January shipments. So that stuff and ordering things so I can pick out the stuff from February through April, which I feel like I'm in full retail mode, working 6+ months in advance. It's kind of not my favorite, except that beads are always fun. So
the November subscription box matches our kit.
Yes.
Is that right?
It does. And have you already shared the theme of that kit yet?
No.
Okay.
It comes out the last Wednesday of this month, but I will tell all of you because I'm terrible with secrets. It is our Christmas kit, and it is themed after the Nutcracker. It will be our Nutcracker design kit, and Cassandra has her subscription box in the same sort of color palette, colors that will intermix with our colors very well. So if you normally get our kits, you might want to check out that subscription box for November, especially because I think you're going to like putting the two things together. And then she'll be back with that subscription box, and I'll have our kit, and I'm going to send her a kit, and we'll have a little kit party for Christmas, which is going to be so fun. So take a look at that too.
Anybody that signs up for the subscription for us from now through November 16th would receive the set that we're talking about right now, just to clarify.
Perfect. Yeah, we're co-featuring colors. I love that. I love that term. That's a good term for us, Terry. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I'll be back on Friday for Fall Fest preview night. Be sure to be ready, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. There's been a little controversy among the presenters. Will we wear costumes or won't we? I don't know. Some people say, no way. And some people say, yes, please. So I'm not sure what will happen, but tune in to find out. And you'll also get to see everybody's projects for the weekend. It'll be a little sneak peek. And then there will be 13 hours of free presentations over the weekend in the Great Bead Extravaganza Facebook group and on the page. And we will be on Saturday afternoon, 1:30 p.m. Pacific, 4:30 Eastern. Mark your calendars, set your reminders, order your groceries, get everything ready so you can have a really fun and creative weekend with us. And don't forget, the live sale is open through to tomorrow. And that's it. Have a great week, guys, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for being here, Cassandra.
Thanks, guys, for having me. I appreciate it, Sarah.
And make sure you go check out Cassandra's website, which is beadstoliveby.com. And of course, you can find us any day of the week at softluxcompany.com. Bye, everybody.